welcome back to another video with On Point Politics, and today we're going to be looking at a Survey USA poll that just came out recently, and we're going to model it out from the 2020 presidential election to now to see what electoral college result we get. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want more content just like this. And so basically, Survey USA essentially put out a new poll after the debate that has Donald Trump up 2 points. And what we're doing is we have their 2024 breakdowns for all the demographics, and we also have their 2020 sample here. And we're comparing their 2020 sample. This poll was conducted in October of 2020, which is their latest poll before the 2020 election. And these are the margins from these groups from the 2020 presidential election. And what we have is we basically have an adjusted error for every single group. You can see right here. And so Donald Trump, according to this, when you adjust for an error, Donald Trump wins with the 18 to 29-year-old voters by 6 points, loses 30 to 44-year-olds by 9, wins 45 to 64 by 12, and wins 65 plus voters by 23 points, believe it or not. So that is something really interesting. College educated voters are tied. Non-college is plus 16 essentially. Men, he wins them by 21. Women Biden only wins them by 5. Trump wins whites by 28. Biden only wins African Americans by 22. And for some reason, Biden's winning Hispanics by 17, which is kind of interesting. And then the other vote is plus 6. So this is some pretty interesting stuff when you really break it down here. And when you model it out, the electoral college victory is actually larger than the one I'm even suggesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from west to east and basically map out the entire election. So what you do is you essentially create 4 different maps, because if you plug in all the data, it's essentially going to give you Trump winning 535 electoral college votes. So you make different maps. So I did one for race, which, yes, when you plug in the demographic data, this is literally what you get for the race. And you get 347 when you do it by gender. When you do it by education, you get 357. When you do it by age, you also get 357. So the first state we're going to be looking at is the state of Washington, which if we go down here, we'll actually see that the state's only about a 6-point victory when you model it by age, only 5 points when you model it out by basically education. It's only basically a 6-point when you model it out by gender, and then when you model it out by race, he's only winning there by 5. So this basically rounds out to a likely margin in the state of Washington as of right now. If we look at the state of Oregon, we see it's a 2-point win when you model it out by age. It is a 2-point win you modeled it out by education. When you model it out by gender, it's a 4-point victory. When you model it out by race, it's only a 2-point win. So that's going to average out in the lean Democrat column for incumbent President Joe Biden. We can look in the state of Nevada. Donald Trump here, when you model it out, what's quite interesting is he's actually up here by 11 points by age. He's up by 11 points by education. By gender, he's up by 11 as well. Or actually, no, he's up 9. And then when you model it out by race, he's actually up 15 points. So that rounds out to like a 12 or 13-point victory in the electoral college for Donald Trump. In the state of Arizona, we see this is a 13-point victory by age. By education, it's also like a 14-point win. When you model it out by gender, it's like a 12-point victory. And when you model it out by basically race, it's like a 16-point win. So this rounds out to like a 14-point victory for Donald Trump in the state of Arizona, which is absolutely insane. In Colorado, we see Donald Trump leads by a little bit less than a point when you model it out by age. When you model it out by education, he's actually up 2 points. And when you model it out by gender, Biden's up 2. And when you model it out here, Trump is up by 2 by race. So essentially, this rounds out to like a point victory for Donald Trump in the electoral college, which is really fascinating to see. When you go to the state of New Mexico, we'll actually see right here in the state of New Mexico, Donald Trump's up 3 when you model it out by age. He's up 3 when you model it out by education. When you model it out by gender, he's up literally less than a point. And when you model it out by race, he's actually up by like 5 points. So this rounds out to like a 3 or 4 point victory for Donald Trump in the state of New Mexico. So both of those go in that column. If we go to Nebraska second, this is essentially going to be in the likely Republican column. All the victories that I checked out essentially have Donald Trump winning them by all like 8 to 9 points as of right now. In the state of Illinois, Biden wins by 3 when you model it out by age. By education, he also wins by 3 points. When you model it out by gender, he actually wins by 5. And then when you model it out by race, he's actually up 3 points. So that averages out to like a 2.3 point victory for Joe Biden in the state of Illinois. If we go to the state of Georgia, we see Donald Trump leads by 14 when you model it out by age. By education, Donald Trump leads by around, we can see here, by 14 as well. Here he leads by 11 by gender, and by race he leads by a safe margin essentially. So this actually rounds out to like a 16-point victory for Donald Trump in the state of Georgia, and North Carolina will be posed as a similar victory. When you go to North Carolina here, it's literally like 61 to 37, and all the other victories are pretty similar in that state. So both of those states would actually be in the safe Republican column as of right now. When you go to the state of Virginia, when you model it out by age, Donald Trump's up by 3. When you model it out by education, he's actually up 5 points, believe it or not. And then when you do it by gender, Donald Trump's up by 2. And then when you model it out by race, Donald Trump's literally up by like a likely margin. So this actually rounds out to a likely margin. It's like a 5 or 6 point win when you actually round it out, which is absolutely insane. And when we look at a state like Wisconsin, we see 13 points there. If we go over here, we see another 13 points. We see another basically 11. And when you go over here, that's like a 15-point win. So that averages out to like 13 or 14 points. If we go to the state of Michigan, when you model it out by age, it's literally an 11-point win. When you go over here, you model it out by education, it's also like an 11-point win. When you model it out by gender, you also see it's around a 9-point victory. And when you model it out by race, you see that Donald Trump wins by 16 points. So this basically rounds out to like a 14-point victory in the state of Michigan. And then we go to Pennsylvania. You're going to see even crazier results there. Pennsylvania, 12 points by age. When you do it by education, he ends up winning there by 14. When you model it out by gender, it's like an 11-point win. You model it out by race, it's literally an 18-point victory. So I think this actually rounds out to like a 15-point win in Pennsylvania, believe it or not. So those are crazy margins there. And Minnesota, I mean, honestly, guys, Minnesota, it's like a 6-point race there. Here, it's like another 6-point race. Here in Minnesota, it's like a 5-point race. And then by race, it's like a really big victory there. So that's going to be a likely Republican state as well. Connecticut, I've seen, was getting like really, really close. It was like super competitive. 6 points in age. By here, it's like 5 points. You see it by gender, it's by like 8 points. And then by race, it's like a 2-point win. So this literally averages out to like 5 points for Biden. If we go to Delaware, 6 points by age. We see similar margins in Connecticut and Delaware, essentially. You see very similar margins. Delaware is actually rounds out to like a 5-point win there. So I actually say that rounds out to like a 3-point victory in Delaware, which is crazy. And we look at the state of Rhode Island. That's going to be bad. 6 points there only. We go to, or 7 points. 6 points there, give or take 5. Rhode Island, like around 9 or 8 there. And then when you come over here, we see around a 5-point victory. So it averages out to like 6 or 7 points only in the state of Rhode Island. And in Maine's first, essentially, like, it's literally a 2-point win here. And like, we could actually just do all of Maine right now. Essentially, Donald Trump is 100% winning that congressional district, the 2nd congressional district in Maine. He's 100% picking that one off. Like, it's not even a question. He for sure has that. Now, Maine's first, 2-point win here for Biden. literally like a 1-point victory, and then another like 3-point win, and then here Donald Trump actually like barely loses it, so it rounds out to like a 2-point win. And then Maine at large, we see Donald Trump win it by 4 there. He wins it by 4 there as well. He also wins it there by 3, and then he wins it there by like 6. So it basically models out to like a 4-point victory in the state of Maine at large. So that is pretty interesting as well. And if we go to a state like New Jersey, 2-point victory by age, by education, Donald Trump's down by a tilt margin. Biden wins by like 4. When you model it out by gender, when you model it out by race, Donald Trump's up by the opposite amount. So that also averages out to like a 2-point victory as well in the Electoral College for Biden. And if we look in the state of New York, we actually see right now, around 10 points by age. We see only 8 points here by education, and when you model it up by gender, it's an 11-point win, and you model it up by race, it's literally like a 3-point win. So that averages out to like a 6 or 7-point victory, which is what the polling aggregate actually has it out right now, by the way. So that is something interesting to know. And then the last state, New Hampshire, we actually see it right here, 6 points by age. We see like 6 points by education. We see right here 6 points as well by gender, and then we see like 7 points by race. So that puts that in the likely Republican column. So basically, when you model out Survey USA's latest poll and you cross-examine the demographic margins from their 2020 sample, compare it to the 2020 margins from the actual exit polls and adjust it for an error, and you apply that error to their current 2024 sample, those are the margins you get for those demographics. And when you model it all out on 538, this is the Electoral College margins that you get for every single state. Donald Trump would win with 357 Electoral College votes to Biden's 181, which really the only difference between my actual projection state-wise, and this is Colorado. I have Colorado going to Biden still, but other than that, all the state calls are basically correct. Now, do I have Oregon under 5? No. Do I have Colorado as a Republican? No. Do I have Delaware under 5? No. Do I have Maine's first there? No. I have New York at 7 or 8 points. I don't have Pennsylvania, North Carolina, or Georgia so far. But when you actually take the time to model everything out, you get the Electoral College margin that's pretty similar to what I have as of right now for my official projection. If you guys did enjoy this breakdown, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want more content just like this. And I will see you guys in the next video.